The hitting zone. Hitting zone is so important. Many times I'm asked, what's my number one goal in making a take-home slow motion analysis for a player? And my answer is to give them a longer hitting zone. When you give someone a longer hitting zone, you give them a better chance to be good. The hitting zone is when the racket's lined up to the contact point in the area. Usually it's about 18 inches in length, the width of your shoulders, or a time span of 75 milliseconds. So I have a forehand, for example, where the racket goes out to the target in a long hitting zone. I don't want to have a hitting zone that's very short where I'm wristy, for example, and I pull off the hitting zone. It's a tracking motion. If you were to think of just taking a paddle through water, too many times what happens is players just have a ballistic slapping action when they hit a tennis ball. So for the prevention of injury, yes, have a long hitting zone. For success, it comes down to math. If you're playing against a player that hits fast, you'd hit the ball here. If you're playing against a player that hits slow, you play here. Keep in mind the player on the other side of the net is trying to give you a ball that you don't want. Think about baseball. Years ago, baseball, the American fabric, everybody knew baseball. Everybody played baseball. But in baseball, the pitchers will throw a changeup. Okay, so a world-class pitcher to a world-class batter, and they throw a changeup with the idea now they're throwing the ball in slower. Now, baseball is more of a horizontal swing, but then the players hit the ball early, and then it goes off into the stands, foul ball, strike one. So that's where you want to be able to mix up the speed, spin, trajectory. When you're playing to someone, you're challenging their hitting zone. You want to get the ball up high above their shoulder, so now their hitting zone is shorter. Not only more difficult, but shorter. You want to choose shots that give you the longest hitting zone. Also, you want to choose shots that allow you to swing with the most racket hit speed. But a hitting zone is a tracking motion. When I hit a ball, I can play the ball now. Players who don't have a long hitting zone, they have to play the ball now. So instead of going, you have to just go. And that's where players who have very short hitting zones, they're going to be streaky players, and they have good days and bad days. What's going to give you a good hitting zone? First of all, head work is first because you have to have a great attitude to move. Speed is an attitude. Okay, you have to get in position. So head work is first, footwork is second. Footwork is going to help you with the longer hitting zone, but so is body work and racket work. If a player has the racket head up high, it's just like a youngster riding a park at a swing at the park. So now the racket just free falls. If a player has a racket like this, and now they can swing inside out, they're going to have a longer hitting zone. So it's as if there's no glitches in their swing, and it just looks effortless, so just a pendulum effect. So really, with all players, it's so key. I think everyone in tennis teaching has heard this, where you just place 3 tennis balls about 18 inches apart, and you just go through the 3 balls this way. So it's a long sweeping action as you go through the hitting zone. But write that down. Make sure you emphasize that with your students.